All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to tackle a huge question today. Is cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, is it real money? Now, I know. Everyone's got a strong opinion on this. But for this explainer, we're going to try something different. We're going to set all that noise aside and look at this thing through the cold, hard lens of economics. So let's get into it. If you're feeling a little skeptical about all this, hey, you're not alone. Believe it or not, even the earliest crypto fans knew how strange it all sounded. They actually had a nickname for Bitcoin themselves. They called it magic internet money. I mean, it's kind of perfect, right? It just gets right to the heart of the confusion. How in the world can something that's just code on a computer actually be worth anything?
And really, that's the core problem we're up against. I mean, think about it. History is just littered with things people used as money. We're talking shells, beads, giant stone wheels, you name it. We laugh at that stuff now, right? So the big question is, why should we take digital currency any more seriously? To even begin to answer that, we have to rewind a bit and ask a more fundamental question. What gives anything value as money in the first place? Well, lucky for us, economists actually have a toolkit for this exact problem. It's a formal concept that helps cut through all the hype and all the noise. They call it the sound money test. And this isn't about feelings or opinions. It's a concrete checklist, a set of criteria we can use to evaluate any asset, whether it's ancient or brand new, to see if it has what it takes to be reliable money. So, what exactly is sound money? Put simply, it's a form of money that doesn't just crumble in value over time. It holds on to its purchasing power. And it does that because it has specific, trustworthy characteristics built right into it. This idea, it's the absolute foundation for everything we're about to discuss. Seriously, think of it as our quality control checklist for money. And here's that checklist. The 6 key traits of sound money are durability, divisibility, portability, fungibility, scarcity, and acceptance. For any kind of money to really work, it's got to have all 6 of these. Every single one is crucial. So let's break them down, one by one. Okay, so to really get a feel for this test, we need something to measure against, right? A benchmark. We need the undisputed heavyweight champion of sound money throughout history. And there's really no better example than gold. So before we even get to crypto, let's run gold through our 6-point test and see how it holds up. First on the list, durability. This one's pretty simple. Your money can't rot like a banana or dissolve in the rain. It has to last. It's got to be able to stick around and not just fall apart on you. And right away, we see a fascinating contrast here. Gold's durability is physical. You can find gold from ancient Roman shipwrecks, and it's still just gold. It's nearly indestructible. Bitcoin, on the other hand, has a totally different kind of robustness. It's digital. Its ledger, the record of who owns what, isn't stored in one bank vault. It's copied and spread out across thousands of computers all over the world. It's like you can't burn down a book if there are thousands of copies of it everywhere. All right, next up is divisibility. This just means you have to be able to make change. You can't use a cow to buy a loaf of bread, right? Money has to be easy to break down into smaller pieces for all kinds of purchases. Gold is pretty good at this. You can melt it down and make smaller coins or even use gold dust. But this is where digital money really starts to shine. Bitcoin can be divided with insane precision, down to 1/100 millionth of a single coin. That little tiny piece is called a Satoshi, in honor of Bitcoin's mysterious creator. Okay, on to trait number 3, portability. This is a big one. Good money needs to be easy to move around. If you can't carry it with you, it's not very useful for trade, is it? Sure, a few gold coins in your pocket, that's portable. But what if you need to move a serious amount of value? We're talking gold bars. You're going to need guards, an armored truck. It's a huge, expensive hassle. And this is where Bitcoin just blows it out of the water. You can send the equivalent of $1 million or $1 billion to the other side of the planet in minutes. All you need is an internet connection. No banks, no borders, no one to ask for permission. Trait number 4 has a fancy name, fungibility. Don't let the word scare you. It's a super simple concept. It just means that one unit is the same as any other unit. A $5 bill in my pocket is worth the exact same as a $5 bill in your pocket. They're totally interchangeable. And on this front, both gold and Bitcoin get a perfect score. An ounce of pure gold is an ounce of pure gold, no matter where it came from. Same with Bitcoin. One Bitcoin is exactly the same as any other Bitcoin. They're all equal, and that's absolutely vital for any kind of money to work smoothly.
Okay, we're at number 5, and this might be the most important one of all when it comes to holding value. We're talking about scarcity. I mean, think about it. If anyone could just print money in their basement, it would be worthless overnight. To be valuable, money has to be hard to come by. Now, what's really key here is how each one is scarce. Gold is scarce because of nature. It's physically hard to find and dig out of the ground. Bitcoin's scarcity is totally different. It's built into its code. It's programmatic. The rules state there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin created, period, not one more. That's an absolute, perfectly predictable scarcity well, it's something the world has never seen before. And that brings us to our final and maybe trickiest trait, acceptance. This one isn't about physics or code, it's about people. Money is only money if we all agree it's money. It needs a shared belief. People have to be willing to actually take it in exchange for their stuff. And this is where the difference between the two really comes into focus. Gold has the ultimate track record, right? We're talking thousands of years across countless cultures. It's universally seen as valuable. Bitcoin, well, its acceptance is growing like crazy. But let's be real, it's just not there yet. You can't use it everywhere. This is, without a doubt, its single biggest hurdle to overcome. So we've walked through all 6 traits. We've seen the strengths and weaknesses. Now let's put it all on one page and look at the final scorecard. Bitcoin versus the gold standard. So when you lay it all out like this, it's pretty clear. On the pure technical specs, things like portability and especially that absolute scarcity, you could argue Bitcoin actually has an edge. But then you get to that last row, acceptance. And gold is just the undisputed king with a 5,000-year head start. Bitcoin's story is still being written, and right now it's a story of incredible growth, but it's not yet complete. So, what's the verdict? Is Bitcoin sound money? As you can see, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. But honestly, the most important thing to take away from this isn't about picking a winner. It's about this framework, these 6 traits. This is the tool. This is what you can use to think for yourself and evaluate any form of money that comes your way, now or in the future. And that leaves us with a really big thought-provoking question, doesn't it? For the first time in human history, we can actually engineer the properties of sound money. We can literally write absolute scarcity into code. So, if technology can now create assets that check off all those technical boxes, durability, portability, scarcity, the only question left is that last one. What will we, as a global society, collectively decide to accept as money tomorrow?